Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's do a quick update of these three planners for my 2024. So thanks for clicking on this video. I hope you guys were able to start off the first 2 weeks of your 2024 in a really peaceful and enjoyable manner. So just for those of you who've already watched my 2 previous videos talking about my planner setup for 2024, I'm sure you know that I have 5. Okay, but today I'm only going to show you 3. So this is my Hobonichi Weeks, my Sterling Ink Common Planner. This is the N2 size, so it's the weeks size in a full year. So it's not compact. And this is actually just a Traveler's Company cover, but the inside is also a Sterling Ink Common Planner. So this is an N1 or Traveler's Notebook size. Okay, so this one is compact. Right. So I did not include for this video my Sterling Ink Common Planner for work, as well as the Hours Planner in A5, simply because I feel like, well, for one, for practicality's sake, there are a lot of confidential things, classified information on my work planner, so I cannot freely show that on social media, on YouTube, or anywhere else. That's one. For the Hours Planner, I deemed it unnecessary to show you at this point because I haven't fully been able to sit down with it. I filled up a few things, a few dates, but after the 2 weeks have passed, I actually haven't even been able to fill up half of the days that I was meant to. So let's start here. Beginning with the Hobonichi Weeks. So I did mention that I wanted to use this as a gratitude journal or gratitude planner, but I did some changes a bit. So let's go over this one very quickly. So for this here, I made it a point not to maximize or not to force myself to maximize the entirety of the planner and all of its features. So for this particular one, I did put the adhesive pocket on the front cover. As you can see, I haven't decorated as I did from the previous years. I did not write anything here, and I don't think I plan to use this year at a glance spread for 2024. Again, I skip out using the December 2023 monthly view, but I did start with January, of course. And for this monthly view, if you'll notice, I did not put any decor. I'm still thinking if I want to, maybe I will once this is filled up. So I'll do kind of a reverse of my usual. I usually decorate first and then write. Now I'm gonna do the reverse for this one. So for my monthly view, this is what I plan to do. So I've written it down here. So this view for 2024, in just 4 lines, highlights, keys, no more, no less. So essentially, what I'll be doing here, per date, I will just write 4 lines of highlights or keywords for the day, things that happened, things that I find notable, memorable. Essentially, it's like a quick glance of the entire day in just 4 lines. Why 4 lines? Because it's 2024. Yeah, it's just that there is no sentimental value to the number 4 for me. But yeah, let me just open my window a bit more. Okay. So essentially that's it. You're gonna see a few things here. For example, lunch out, and then the name of the restaurant, Bible down. Of course, there are things here that will not make sense when you read it as it is, but it will definitely make sense to me because again, this is mine, but I did already place one ahead of time. So yeah, that's my plan. Also included some holidays, but not all. I didn't actually completely fill this out because I only decided to do this four liner thing around the end of the first week. So that's the plan for the monthly view. And I plan to continue that because so far I am enjoying it. Just running through the entire day in my head and then picking out what I want to highlight and then thinking of how to write it so that it fits in the box, in the grid. So that's actually a fun activity for me. Okay, so let's move on to the weekly view. So it's a Saturday today, so I haven't actually accomplished the full 2 weeks, but so I do have my first week down. It's a lot less filled as I had it last year. So last year, like the entirety was actually filled up with words and writing and decor. But this year, again, I'm trying not to maximize it or fill it up so much. I want it to be light on the eyes. And what I'm doing here is, so surprise, this is actually my handwriting. When I have to write in really small planners, that's when I make use of my the handwriting that you typically see. But this is actually how I've written since, I don't know, 5th grade, high school. I mean, of course, it's changed over time. It wasn't like this when I was in elementary, but yeah, I like writing in italics, and I like adding flourish to my writing. So here, what I write per date is a quote or a saying that stuck with me, maybe a proverb, something I heard, or something I realized for myself. Okay, so I write it down here, sort of, to serve as like a collection of nuggets of wisdom that I've collected for the entire year. On this portion, I'm non-committal. I was trying to track my sleeping pattern. I tried to track my eating habits, but I'm not fully satisfied. So for the second week, I stuck with the sleeping, and then I changed it up to highlighting the things that happened, the things I have to remember for the week, reminders to myself, maybe bills that are due, and other similar things like that. And again, I'm sticking with the quote thing for the second week, just for that consistency from the first. I haven't written anything down here because I usually write this at the end of the day when I actually have the time to sit down and, run through everything that happened in my head again, revisit the events, my memories, and everything. And then that's when I pinpoint what did I learn, or what is the nugget of wisdom that I want to encapsulate for the day. But for next week and probably the succeeding weeks, I do have a plan, and I've written it down at the top. So let me show you very quickly. I'll stick with writing a quote, a phrase, a saying, a proverb, whatever on this portion. But on the right side, I would want to fill it per date as well with by answering the question, how is it yours? Meaning the saying or the quote I'll put here. How is it yours? And how does it relate to today? So that is going to be my plan for this portion. So again, I will apply the same principle. Since each date is given 6 grids, so if you can count that, if you have your own Hobonichi Weeks, so there are 6 grids. I will only fill out 4, the middle 4. Okay, just to answer the question, how is this saying or this quote mine today? How does it relate to this day for me? So I'm actually excited to see how it looks at the end of the week. So that's gonna be like a discipline project for me next week, for me to fill this out as I intended it to be filled out. And then let's see how that works for me. By the end of next week, I will post another video to update you guys about it and the progress. So that's it for this portion. And there's nothing else. Honestly, there's nothing else on here. I've just put some sticker tags for the 8th So for those of you who are unaware, that is actually my monthsary/anniversary date with my boyfriend. So I try to highlight it here as well in a very minimalist sort of way. These stickers, by the way, are from HPC by Anyang. So she's on Instagram. A lot of you might have already heard of her, or maybe checked her out from my previous video. I did put a link in the description box from my last video. So if you want to check that out, please do so. It'll be great and it'll be helpful for me as well. So let's move on to the last part that I'm using. So for the notes section, I have no plans yet. I am unsure how I'll use this. So you can just see the bookmark there, and everything is still blank except for that last bit. I'm starting to put on some stickers of washi collections that I have. And finally, for this part, I cut it down into 2 interrelated columns. So the first and the third will list my salary and or bonuses from work. And then I will indicate on the second and the fourth column, so adjacent to the first and the third, are the tithes, the 10% tithe of the salary or the bonus that I have. And I'll just tick that off if I've been able to give that to the church. So I want to complete an entire year of my, once again, serving the church, giving back to the Lord by offering 10% of all my income for the year. So I started this last year, but sometime mid-year. So for this 2024, I want to do it for the entire year, and I want to be able to have a record of what I've actually given to the church. So that's it for my Hobonichi Weeks. So I hope you, I don't know, maybe figured out some way that you'd want to use yours. It's very simple how I'm planning to use this. Again, this is the only Hobonichi planner that I have for this year, compared to the previous years than when I would buy multiple ones, because I am exploring the common planner by Sterling Ink. So I don't know, I just want to stay true to my Hobonichi roots, but at the same time, I don't want to have to fill this out every day with, a bunch of information or memories just to make sure that it's filled out. So I'm going to practice minimalism in using this planner. Right, so let's move on to the next one. Let's just set that aside. The next one will be this one. So my Sterling Ink in N2 horizontal. So it mimics the weeks size. And this is in a full year, so it's very thick. Okay, and for those of you who are already aware, just a recap, maybe even for those of you who don't know, sorry. Just to recap, I'm using this as a finance and Bible planner. So you can already see that I have my Midori clips here, so it's easy for me to keep track. So the note section is where I put the entire Bible study. So I have here the entire year at a glance, so I can track my progress with actually reading the Bible and writing about it, learning more about God, and trying to just deepen my faith. I have symbols that I use. Okay, so a circle would mean that I was able to complete Bible study for that day. A circle with a slash means it's only halfway done. I might have read it, written something about it, but I didn't fully digest it. And a slash for the days when I really couldn't. Maybe I skipped out. So I have a page for each day that has passed. Smudged that. Okay, and for each day, again, I try to apply soap. So that's scripture, observation, application, and then prayer. So you can see here, this is the first slash because it was really hard for me to digest this passage. I do plan to go back to it eventually, but I want to be authentic and honest with myself about how I did for that day when I read the Bible. So here I was able to manage up to application, but I wasn't able to write a prayer. Okay, so this is how I'm using. So again, And for Sundays, they're different. I don't pick out, or I don't have my own Bible passage to study. Instead, I will write about what I learned from the church service on Sunday. So that's why this is of a different format. It doesn't have the O, A, and P on this one. This is the scripture for that day at church, and these are my notes from the discussion. So I continued on, again slashing. I think this was the time I had a lot to do at work, and I did try to make use of the grids as they were, instead of squishing my writing, having 2 lines in one grid. But it did eat up a substantial part of the notebook, so I might have to stick with writing in a very compressed manner. And again, on the 10th, the 11th is what I skipped out on. I had my Bible passage, but I actually don't recall. I think I wasn't myself on the 11th. Then the 12th, also half. And today, actually, before I even started filming, I was able to complete my soap for the day, studying Isaiah 48, verses 9 to 11. So that was a really difficult passage for me to read through, but I'm actually grateful for the guidance of different sources. We have Pastor John Piper, other online sources that I was able to use in order to better dissect and better understand this passage. So I plan to do the same for the rest of the year as best as I could. If there are days I won't be able to, I really hope I can limit those. I will skip a page just to, again, emphasize that this is the day I wasn't able to sit with my Bible. I wasn't able to read the Word of God. So that's for my Bible part. On the first half, I use it for my finances. So this is, I don't know, the goal breakdown is weird. I cannot use it for this particular one. I did input already my anticipated income from my work salary for the month of January. I will do the same for Feb and March. Again, I put in the stickers to highlight when I expect to get my salary. I did place a few graphs here. I am not sure how I'm going to fill out the January one. I made a mistake by putting a maximum of 3,500 for my possible spending, but I actually exceeded that like by twice for the first week. I spent a lot on the first week of January. So I might have to do a little revamp on the second and third month of the year. So I'll see how this goes. But for now, I'm keeping this blank. I'm still in the process of experimenting with graphs to show me my money progress, how much income is moving inwards and how much is actually exiting. Okay, so that's basically it. Nothing else on the rest of the quarters. And then we proceed with the monthly view. Again, I've shown this to you guys before. It has all my bills. So my credit cards, condo dues, everything. And I started putting pink marks on those that I've already paid for. But I think I'm going to switch it up next month because I think I would want to have a place where I can actually also write when I paid for something, so I can just highlight it just to identify it more easily visually with highlighters, that this is the payment made, and that for whichever bill I paid for, I can just write paid at the bottom of it, maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm still trying to work things out here, but so far this is working for me. Being able to flip through this serves as a good reminder. I haven't missed any payment due dates yet. I hope I don't for the rest of the year. I'm actually pretty much responsible for my finances. I really I haven't really forgotten to pay any of my bills. There were just some brief moments last year when I was really swamped with work, but this time this system is really helping me out. I did list here some destashed cells because I am looking to sell some of my washi tapes, washi stickers. Yeah, and I'm just writing those down so I can also anticipate if I would have extra income from sales. Okay, so that's for the rest of the year. I just have the icon stickers ready, especially for the ones with fixed dates for the payment of bills. So yeah, that's it. Consistent for me. I'm using this one for insurance policies that I have to pay. Yeah, so I'm trying to be as responsible as I can. And now we move on to the weekly view. So this was the first week. You're already familiar. I have a breakdown of my salary from December 2023, which I used to fund my January. And I did list here the actual expenses that I have. So I have 4 funds that I used: allowance, the meal plan, anything for food expenses, gas, as well as kato, so for my cat's expenses. And then I prepared a key with 4 different highlighters. Yellow, when I mark something in yellow here on the last column, that would entail it was paid with a credit card. Green for cash, orange for debit or direct debit, and the pink one for e-wallets. So I just mainly list down what I paid for, what I purchased. For example, for the first expense of January 2024, I had my cats groomed. And then under the column where I got the fund, I will list the amount that I paid for it. And then at the end of the day, I compute what's left of that fund, and then I place it here for the next date. So I did that for the entire week until the end. I place here left because this will be amount that will be reflected on the following week. So budget forwarded from week 1, and then I indicate the 4 funds here. I rewrite the keys because I don't want to have to keep flipping through, and you can see here the highlights of some expenses I made for week 2. So just focusing again on week 1, I did also list at the end of here the total money out for week 1, how much in total. So I just have to total everything that I spent for the first week and then put it here, and then break it down by category. So I spent for food, for cats, miscellaneous fees, and gas. And then I just put actually a percentage of how much each contributed to my expenses for that week. And actually I paid 39% of my expenses actually came from the gas. So gas is really expensive where I'm from, especially. So moving on to week 2, again forwarded here, and then I created new columns, but I didn't put in the grids anymore. So yeah, again, I still kept track of all my expenses. If I did not have any expenses, it would just be left blank, a line here just to slash out the entire date, and then I just proceed to copying the same funds for the following date. So with this kind of system, I am able to keep track of my funds, my spendable funds, so I can monitor myself and not exhaust the money that I'm currently holding. Because sometimes when we forget how much we still actually have, we have a tendency to overspend. So this is a really good way for me to keep seeing that, oh, okay, for the rest of January, I only have this amount left for my overall allowance. I have this amount left for food, this for gas, and this for my cat funds. So I can work around that to make sure that I stay within budget. And again, I will do the same by tomorrow, Sunday. I will be finalizing the total expenditures that I made for this week, placing a summary here, and again moving over to the next week. So I already have some things ready here, so just those keys again. So this makes it easy for me to track where I should, like, which amounts I should expect to be reflected on my credit card, just because I have those yellow keys in there. So that's the purpose of these highlighters. So these are highlighters I got from Hobonichi, by the way. So let me just quickly put in, so for credit card, it's gonna be yellow. You can see how bright it is. I love it. But it doesn't like bleed through to the next page. So green is for cash. Okay, so I'm not gonna, I initially used circles, but I think it's easier if I don't have to draw them. Direct debit is orange. Okay. And pink will be for e-wallet or digital bank use. Okay. So that's it for my keys. Again, budget forwarded from the second week. I'd have to wait until the end of Sunday to make sure. I still list my pending payments for the month, just so I can track. Up to this point, I should have already paid for my other bills, and these are the ones that are left over for the rest of the month. And then again, after the entire week 3, I will compute the summary of my total money out and then proceed to the next month. So for those of you who are wondering, the end of January actually intermingles with the first half of February. So what do I plan to do here? It's very simple. Whatever budget I have for January will be extended to the first half of Feb, I think. I don't know. I'll think about it. Or maybe I can just merge them. So yeah. So that's it for my financial planner, my trackers. So we can set this aside. I hope you guys were able to appreciate how this is going. Yeah, so there's a lot of empty pages here. I will not decorate this. It's not meant to be pretty. So let's move on to my third one, which is my personal planner. So it already has some scruffs from being pulled in and out of my bag. So for this one, I actually already have a few stickers from, I don't know how to say it, Sutelier. I already have a few inserted here. I'm planning to buy a traveler's notebook. There's this item, there's this insert, I think it's code 020, that I think will be helpful if I could just have it, so I could insert my portable stickers there. So that's just another plan for this year. So year at a glance, I didn't make any changes. I have already shown you guys this quick decor I did at the front. The goal breakdown is still unclear to me, so I just put in whatever came to mind, especially for the individual categories that I put in for body, mind, heart, soul, and money. Okay, so for this one, I have no idea how I'm going to use the priorities yet. As this is for a personal planner, I'm thinking maybe I can list down here some plans, maybe wish lists, things I want to buy. And then maybe a second column to check if I actually did get those or if I changed my mind or something. I'm not sure yet. And I have been trying to track habits on the daily. As you can see, it's so bad. I haven't been doing any skincare. I really haven't. And it's been so hard not spending because I really have been buying a lot of food lately. So for February, I did already remove the skincare habits. I kept the no spend, the Bible study, as well as the vitamins. So I'll update this as I go. And let's move on to the monthly view. So how is it going? So far, it's nice. I honestly like it. I went really wildly with the deco. It's not even pretty, it's not cohesive. Same with the next months. I've just been putting in stickers that I like, that I find are pretty. Haven't really been thinking about it, so yeah, so I'm trying to relax on my decorating. And actually the highlight of this entire planner is the weekly views. So I posted this recently on my Instagram. This is the first week. So I tried to write as compressed as possible to maximize the space. I didn't do time blocking. I just really wrote as the musings and the ideas came to me, but I did put in a schedule here that I had, some decorations, some items that are new for me this year, gifts maybe, things that I bought from 2023 that I will be using this year. Yeah, basically this is a record of what happened during the day, what I can recall, what I want to highlight, or what I want to essentially record. But for the second week, I tried to do something new. I tried to make my writing consistent. I stuck with the actual grid sizes. I was able to write less, like this is a lot less, but yeah, but I think this one looks more clean than this one, but I did get to write more here than I did here. And some decorations that are a bit more cohesive on this page than the first. Some stickers from Crafts Delight, Soutelier, Peon, all of these from MU transfer stickers. Yeah. So I plan to keep this up for next week. I might not actually use this for time blocking because I find it unnecessary to do so. This will just be a daily record of, you know, my day-to-day, my weeks, except for these parts. So if I do highlight with a sticker a certain time of the day, then that means I have a schedule then. Okay, but otherwise, scheduling and appointments will fall here. Okay, musings, daily events that I want to write about will happen here on the weekly part. And some decorations. I'm still not sure what to use the borders for, so I'm just sticking to the actual dates. And so far it's worked well for me. I like how it's looking. I'm really excited about how this will end up because there is a lot for me to write on a daily basis, and with this one I get to highlight things that are actually very personal and important to me, that's not necessarily related to my work, not necessarily related to my relationship. It just really highlights me, my thoughts, what I'm feeling. So yeah, I'm loving this planner mainly because of this. And for the notes section, I plan to keep these pages as an index, so I've just put in very minimal decoration there. And a Midori clip will stay here just so I can keep flipping to the index. But I did already prepare a grid. So for my bonuses, incentives, any interests that I want to disseminate across my essential expenses, which are my insurance policies, I will place them here. Okay, so for this year, I'm planning to, of course, prepare my fund for my last 2 insurance policies this year, and then for the 4 in 2025. Tights, of course. I've also prepared one, exactly the same as here, for my sinking funds. So what I did is to place a sinking funds column at the very end for this page. So anything that's written here will be carried over here. Okay. So any excess money that I have that I want to place into my sinking funds, I will also be listing here. So I've kept 5 more columns blank in case some new sinking funds or things that I want to save for will come up anytime this 2024, then I'll just include them here. I also place in the title the due date as well as the target amount at the top portion. Okay, and some other details, I'm not going to get into those. Again, this is my personal planner. And out of all 5, this is by far my favorite one. So yeah. So there's not much else to say. We're only on the second week of 2024, but I feel like there has been so much accomplished in all of these pages. So I'm really happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a few things, maybe some additional ideas running through your head that you can potentially use for your own planners for 2024. I hope I helped. Otherwise, I hope you at least enjoyed my talking about my plans and the systems that I've put in place, the things that have actually been working so far. Thank God, things have been working so far. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks where I'll show you some more of my progress, maybe how I feel at the end of this month, if January was great for my planner system, as well as my journaling system. So thanks so much for making it to this part, guys. It was really great having you here. It's really nice to see some comments down below, things that you find helpful for you, things that you were surprised about, ideas maybe that came to you as you were watching this. I hope you share those down below, and maybe share a little bit about how many planners you're using and what you're using them for. I'd love to see them. So thanks so much, guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye.